During the early 1990s, Alex Pate curated an important performance series at Intermedia Arts, which featured local artists like myself and national artists like Essex Hempel, Arthur Jaffa, and Greg Tate. Indeed, I wouldn't have entered the field of performance art without the encouragement and opportunity Alex provided. His curation was particularly important and necessary during this period when many artists of color felt shut out of local arts organizations. Beyond this, Alex's writing, such as his novels Amistad and Finding Makeba, his thinking and teaching, such as his course on hip-hop at the University of Minnesota and his program for educators, The Innocent Classroom, has inspired so many artists, activists, and educators here, and has shaped both the Minnesota and national dialogues on race. His influence is, and has been, essential.
Around the mid-1980s, I met Alex D. Pate after hearing him read his poems at a small venue in Minneapolis. After hearing him recite in preparation for Falling, I felt we were kindred spirits. In the 1980s, the Twin Cities was such a challenging world for Black writers. He and I were among a tiny group of Black writers working hard to establish our place on the white literary landscape. He worked steadily and strategically over the years to construct a pan-American highway for us so we could travel along the white literary terrain of the Twin Cities.
Since the 1980s, when I met him and we formed the first mentoring program for Black writers in the state of Minnesota, he has not only written award-winning books, but has been the ultimate mentor. His teaching doesn't stop when the door to the classroom closes. He continues to shepherd writers, taking the time to listen and guide them, and by bringing them face to face with other successful Black authors like he did with the Givens Nomo program. His current venture, The Innocent Classroom, is another prime example of the depth of his brilliance and his desire to raise young Black children up by engaging teachers to help close the relationship gap between educators and students of color. Alex, my dear friend, I am so happy for you.
This award is such an honor. I'm humbled by it. And this past year was one engulfed in grief and sadness, the pandemic, the murder of George Floyd and the uprisings that flowed from that, the murder of Daunte Wright. So much passing on. But we are meant to rise, and I rise now to say thanks. Thank you for this award. There are too many people to thank by name in my minute, but I have to try. Still, this is such an incomplete list. Thank you, David Murrah, my brother, and your powerful family, and your wife, Susan Sensor. Thank you so much. I feel a part of your family. Thank you to Damu, to Rachel, Carolyn, Pamela, Balfi, David Grant, Archie Givens and his family, Ralph, Arlita, Sujen, my children, Selah, Gianni, and Alex, Jess, Matthew, and everyone connected to Innocent Technologies and the Innocent Classroom, the Friends of the St. Paul Public Libraries, the Loft, Ann Regan, the late Alan Kornblum, and the late, great J. Otis Powell. Time is a wondrous thing, really. As it passes in our active lives, things accumulate. Ideas and feelings deepen. And eventually, I suppose if you are lucky, the people who can see you, have seen your contribution, say thanks. And all you can do then is say back to them, to you, as I say now, thank you for seeing me. And stay tuned for more.